everyone, welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, this is actually my first long form YouTube video and I'm so excited because today I'm finally sharing one of my favorite ferments, crunchy carrot kimchi strips. You're probably wondering, how do you make kimchi this vibrant, crisp, and seriously mouth-watering? Don't you worry, I'll walk you through it step by step. In this video, I'll show you the simple ingredients I use: carrots, apple, and a few staples. Nothing complicated, but each one plays an important role in flavor and fermentation. I'm slicing the carrots into strips instead of chunks, and this is intentional. Strips ferment more evenly, absorb the seasoning better, and most importantly, they keep that clean crunch we're aiming for, and it's one of my favorite ways to prepare carrot kimchi. This batch will go through a 7-day cold fermentation, which helps develop flavor while keeping the carrots crisp and fresh, not soggy, not mushy, just perfectly crunchy. So, if you love crunchy ferments, simple ingredients, and slow food done with intention, stay with me. Let's make this carrot kimchi together. First, I soak 1 kilo of carrot strips in 1 liter of water with 2 tablespoons of salt for about 15 minutes. This quick brine gently softens the carrots just enough, seasons them from the inside, and helps them stay crisp and vibrant during fermentation. While the carrots are resting, I start on the paste. I cook 2 tablespoons of rice with 1 cup of water, stirring until it turns soft and sticky. This paste helps bind the seasoning together and gives the kimchi that smooth, well-coated finish. Once it's ready, I set it aside to cool. The paste is now ready with all the ingredients, which I've also listed in the comments section. I blended apple, fish sauce, ginger, onions, onion leaves, and parsley. All optional, so feel free to use whatever you already have in your kitchen. Oh, wait, I have garlic also. And chili powder. Okay, 15 minutes is up. Carrot strips are strained. Now let's season the paste. First, blended apple, just 1 medium apple, so I'm skipping sugar completely. Next, fish sauce. You can also use shrimp paste if that's what you like or have. Then lots of ginger. I really go heavy on this because it adds so much flavor. Mix until it looks smooth, glossy, and kind of slurpy. And now gochugaru chili powder. This part really makes it kimchi. Gochugaru isn't just about heat. It's mild, slightly sweet, and not overpowering. It gives kimchi that deep red color, and more importantly, it helps flavors develop slowly as it ferments. It's what makes kimchi taste rich, balanced, and alive over time, not just spicy. Paste is done and now it's ready to coat the strips. Carrots are well drained, so I transfer them into a clean bowl for the final coating. This time I'm using gloves just to protect my hands from the heat later on. First, I add the onion leaves, onions, and garlic. I gently massage everything into the carrot strips just to mix and soften them a bit. Not forcing it, I want the strips to stay whole and crunchy, not crushed. Once that's done, they're ready for the paste next. Okay, so I'm dramatically pouring the paste over the carrots. It's perfectly smooth and that beautiful red slurry we want. By the way, there's no strict order for the spices. Kimchi is super forgiving, so you can do it your own way. As I pour, I slowly massage the strips, nice and gentle, making sure not to crush them so they stay crisp even while fermenting. After mixing well, I add the last ingredient, fresh parsley. I save it for the end to preserve its freshness, giving a bright, almost lemony lift to the kimchi. Then I'll leave it for 15 minutes to draw a little water out. Carrots aren't like cabbage. They aren't as watery, so just soaking and draining is enough. No rinsing needed. Alright, so 15 minutes are up and I can see a little juice coming out, enough to act as a brine and keep all the carrot strips submerged. Now, let's move on to bottling. When it comes to bottling, you can do it any way you like as long as your jar is clean and sanitized. I'm folding and arranging my strips this way because it's what I'm used to. Night, I'll do a cold fermentation in the fridge for 7 days, but first I'll kickstart the fermentation at room temperature overnight, then store it in the fridge in the morning. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video and want to see more fun and easy fermentation recipes, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for watching and happy fermenting!